Hello, hello, hello. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. And this episode is about the lunar eclipse, okay? This isn't just your ordinary lunar eclipse. This is a karmic turning point that's about to shake your life, if it hasn't already, in ways that you didn't even see coming, okay? Are you feeling stuck in your routines that no longer serve you? Struggling with being perfect? Or a relationship that feels a little off balance? We got it all here. We're going to discuss it. Okay. This total lunar Virgo eclipse, okay, is conjunct the South Node. This is about releasing. This is going to force you to let things go. Okay. So if you're holding back, trust me, you are going to want to watch this video, listen to this episode if you're listening via podcast. I'm going to break everything down to you. How will it affect you, from your major life changes, to your personal or career shifts that could be happening, even global events. I'm talking about predictions. I'm talking about themes. I'm breaking it down to the degree. We have it all here, okay, just for you. So if you're ready to find out what it's sending you, or what it's ending, or what is going to begin, and how this is going to be transformative for you and the collective, also I have horoscopes, then stay tuned.
3, 2, 1.
I love you.
Okay, so wait, before I even get started, you guys, why don't, if you're into this, me breaking down the eclipse and all of that is resonating with you, then you're talking about me discussing your life, your career, your relationships, then I need you to hit that subscribe button, okay? Act like you enjoy this content. Act like you enjoy the fact that I put in work, the fact that I have my notes, the fact that I'm sitting here live unedited. Okay, let's put some but behind just viewing in your pajamas or under a heated blanket, because that's what I will do. Okay. Yeah. Hit the notification bell too, because not only does that, you're subscribing, you're enjoying this content because you love astrology, you love to know predictions. This is all resonating with you. Not only is that, but then you want to stay on top of it. Okay. You want to get the weekly astrology updates that I give, the horoscopes, the predictions, all that helps you navigate life with confidence and awareness. That awareness is so important. Plus I have exclusive content that I discuss all the time. Oh, I forgot, I think I have my bread machine just finished. So anyway, but if you want to be aligned with your higher purpose, then stay ahead and subscribe and join the club. Also, I have a group that I want you guys to join. I will be actually talking about that a little bit later. We'll actually just get straight into it, okay? On the agenda today for this video, I'm going to talk about what does an eclipse mean. I'm going to talk about the total lunar eclipse, in the sign Virgo, who would feel it the most. Talk about the South Node because it's conjunct the South Node, the Virgo, where it is within its degree, the Sabian symbols, the key aspects, predictions. We got it all. Okay. Now, before that, I do have to play a word by my sponsor. Well, actually, why don't you just like this video, because I have to turn my oven off. I forgot I turned it on. This is live. Okay. Boy, did I run. Did you guys like this video? Okay, good. Now let's get on to it. Every time I do this live, this is what happens, okay? So what does an eclipse mean? Okay. Anytime we have an eclipse, first, like I have to explain just generally what any eclipse means. Okay. Eclipses are cosmic accelerators. Okay. They bring sudden change, revelations. It is a turning point in our life. This is when something is eclipsed or cut out of your life, especially when we're dealing with the South Node. There are eclipses that are conjunct or relating to the North Node, which is something new. It's an easier eclipse, but when there's about releasing, and that's what this particular eclipse is about, then it's about letting go. Eclipses are also especially powerful if they activate a special, a sensitive point in your birth chart. So I'm talking about like your sun, your moon, your ascendant, Mercury, Venus, Mars, any of the planets. If they hit that, then bam, it's going to affect you. Okay. And it doesn't matter what zodiac sign you have. If you know, I will discuss actually which ones that'll actually hit a little bit more. Eclipse also works in pairs. Okay. So when they say eclipse season, that usually means there's a pair of eclipses that are going to happen. So there's a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. They happen every 6 months. Sometimes we have 3 and not just 2, but this time we just have 2. Okay. And I'm talking about currently that's going to happen in spring. You might be feeling this already. And this is the first eclipse I'm going to discuss. I'm going to do another video on it in a second. I was going to do a video on all the eclipses, but I was like, no, it's too much. I want to be detailed. I want you guys to know what's going to happen. Anyway, but they're always activating the lunar nodes. If you want to know about the lunar nodes, I have a video just on that alone. It's in my 2025 playlist. Okay, you guys, look at this. It will tell you about all the predictions of astrology for 2025. And I'm actually going to put this one a part of it. Okay. So they happen in pairs. There's a solar eclipse. This is happening during a new moon. Okay. If you know anything about astrology, a new moon is when the sun and the moon are together and they're sitting close together and they're very hugged. You know, new moons are very positive. It doesn't matter when it's the eclipse, okay? But there's usually beginnings, something more external events, or it's pushing you to grow when it's a solar eclipse, which is a new moon. When it's a lunar eclipse, it is a full moon, and that's usually about endings, revelations, and emotional releases, okay? Now, how to work with lunar nodes. Okay. Now, the North Node, which I said I did a video on, but I'm going to briefly discuss this. Okay. Actually, let me make sure that I have all of my things. So how to discuss how does it work with a lunar node? Okay. The lunar nodes are the points that actually affect the eclipse. Okay. Whenever they get close to that, that means there is an eclipse. That's how you can decipher it in the sky. But when you are discussing a North Node, you're talking about growth. You're talking about things that could be feeling a little bit uncomfortable because it's new. But when you're dealing with the South Node, you're talking about releasing things, letting go. Okay. I'll get into more detail on that as I discuss this eclipse particularly, but I just want you to understand the difference between the North and the South. And the nodes are about karma. Like, what is your natural karma in life? Okay. So the strongest impact occurs when the eclipse is directly, I said, your personal planets. The eclipse, okay. Historically, eclipse also were considered bad omens traditionally. Okay. So back in the day when there was the eclipse, those people, they ran into like their tents, their huts. They were like, oh no, I don't want nothing about this. But studying it, astrology in the past, they used to say it was a death of rulers, and it doesn't mean that it's not. So like a death of a king, a death of a strong presidential person, political upheavals, natural disaster, you know. But as we become more educated, we started to learn how it can affect us collectively and personally, not just like a king. Okay. Eclipse and planetary transits amplify and affect the lunar nodes. Again, the South Node is about releasing, the North Node is about what you're gaining. Again, release what you're gaining. Okay. And now if it hits some outer planets like Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they activate those nodes, and then that's a more transformative energy. Now, if it's doing something like Jupiter, it could be a little bit more positive. So you could be getting some wealth and maybe some opportunities. But if you're hitting a negative planet in your chart, okay, in your chart, and I'll talk about how it's affecting the vibe in the sky for the collective. But in your chart, if it's hitting Saturn or Mars, you're getting things like challenges, hard lessons, delays, struggle, lack of energy. Okay, so like lack of drive, or people are coming very aggressive at you. Okay, now what else do we have? Okay, the exact aspects. If it's 0 to 3 degrees. Okay, now this is for my more advanced astrology people, right? If the eclipse is affecting any of your planets, this is close to 0 to 3 degrees, you're going to feel it the most. It's going to be very powerful for you. Okay. And if it's hitting 10 to 15 degrees orb, we can feel it as a collective. Okay. You can still feel it, but it won't be as intense. Okay. Now, if there is a planet, okay, I want you to comprehend. If there is a planet that, let's say the eclipse happened in 10 degrees, and let's say you have in your chart a planet that's 10 degrees. It's going to affect you. Also, let's say the eclipse happens at 10 degrees, and I'll show the chart so you can understand. Let's say the eclipse happened at 10 degrees. When another planet hits to 10 degrees, it affects the collective or affects you. Okay, so that also, the degree is very important. When you have squares, when you have oppositions, there's turbulence. When you have trines and sextile, it's a little smoother with the transformation. It's a little bit more positive. And we do have a trine involved with this eclipse. I will explain that. Okay, now eclipse can affect you months before. It can affect you months after. It can last for months. It can last for years. Okay, now that is all about the duration of the eclipse. Like, how long does this eclipse last? If the eclipse lasts for 30 minutes, then maybe this would be just 30 months. That's how I equate it. Okay, if it lasts for 3 hours, it will last for 3 years. Like, the eclipse would impact you 3 years. And you're probably like, what are you talking about? Okay, so let's say it is the eclipse. There was an eclipse in Libra with Gaza. Okay, now I forgot the how long that eclipse lasts, but let's say it lasted for 3 hours. That can affect the people who were involved in that for 3 years. Okay, that's just like a prime example of how the eclipse can affect you. Okay, now oh, let me just tell you the degree of the eclipse, okay? Let me just tell you how it goes. Okay. So the worst eclipse, like the most, I shouldn't say worse, okay? The most strongest eclipse is a solar, lunar, blue moon, blood moon, total eclipse. That is the strongest. That is what we're experiencing coming up. Okay, we have a total eclipse, a solar total eclipse coming up, and I will talk about the dates of that. The next strongest, okay, is a solar annular eclipse, solar hybrid annular eclipse. The next, not as strong, is a lunar partial eclipse, and then last one is a lunar prenumbal eclipse. That's like the least, you don't really feel it, but there's some judge in the air. Okay, so that is what we have. Okay, now before I get to the nuts and the crannies of everything, I do want you to understand that I do have a sponsor because it helps me. Okay, and who is my sponsor? The sponsor is myself. Hello there, my beautiful souls. I am Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Are you ready to take your spiritual journey to the next level? Introducing Danyell's Astro Tarot Elite Club, your exclusive getaway to daily insights, cosmic guidance, and so much more for just $4.99 a month. As a member, you'll receive daily readings designed to align your day with the universe's energy. Start each day with clarity and confidence. Do you need a personal reading, or do you want to have your astrology chart read fully? With being a member, you also can enjoy exclusive discounts on all my offerings. Okay, so I cut it short because I want to move on. Okay, so you guys sign up. I have a newsletter that it's free. It keeps you up with the latest astrology. I talk about updates. I talk about new moons. I would talk about the eclipse. If you're like, I'm too busy to watch a whole video, I can't listen to a podcast, you get the newsletter. It is completely free. Also, if you're more into it, like you're like, I'm really into astrology. I love your tarot readings. I have daily readings. I have weekly readings. That's in my private community, which I just played that commercial. And then also with that community, I talk, it's kitchen talk. Okay. I am going to break down Elon Musk chart. I just recently broke down Blake Lively's chart, but we're going to talk about Elon Musk. We're going to talk about Donald Trump and Gaza. We'll break that down. That's more in my community because I can talk freely there and I can't talk freely here. Okay. Now let's get into the eclipse. If you want to join that, there's all these other special treats in that club as well. Okay. So let's talk about the total lunar eclipse in the sign Virgo. Okay. First of all, this is the strongest eclipse. Okay. Out of the two in this season, this is the strongest. Okay. This eclipse happens. Did I delete it? Oh my gosh. Where is it? Where are the dates to this eclipse? Okay. Here we go. Total lunar eclipse, strongest. The second eclipse is actually a partial solar eclipse in Aries, and that's second to mild. It's not as strong, just so you know, okay? And Virgo energy is all about because it's connected to the South Node. So it's all about releasing perfectism, being perfect, over analyzing, and having this control in our routines and our daily life. This is all about releasing it, and this eclipse is going to come and shut that down. Okay. Now, let me pull up the chart, and I do want you to understand that this eclipse officially happens March 13th at 2025 at 23 degrees. It's a total eclipse, meaning that the moon is completely covering the earth. Okay. The total eclipse are more intense. As I said earlier, this eclipse is going to last for 1 hour and 7 minutes. So that means it's going to affect the collective for 1 year and 7 minutes. No, 7 months. Not 7 minutes. 1 year and 7 months. Okay. So if this eclipse is going to affect you, this energy is going to last for 1 year and 7 months. Okay. And 7 months. Now, also, as a collective, who would it be hitting the most? It's wherever you can see it. And so you can see this eclipse in North and South America, parts of Europe, Africa, and Australia. Okay. Wherever you can see it, the rumor is that that is the collective who would be feeling it the most. Okay. Now, if you're like, well, I'm not there, so I'm good. No, let's talk about your personal planets. Okay. If you have any, actually, let me put up the eclipse first. Hold up, wait a minute. Okay, we're gonna put the eclipse up. Why do I always have the inauguration? I always have the inauguration up. Okay, so we're gonna put this eclipse up, and we're gonna break it down. Okay, so now, if you can see, this eclipse is happening here. That's the moon, and that is the South Node. Okay. You see that they're close. They're like hugging. Well, let's say they're not hugging. They're like sitting on the couch together, and they kind of leaned up on each other. Okay. So that is what you have. This is the eclipse. The eclipse is that lunar eclipse, and it's opposing on the opposite side of this eclipse. So it's like a full moon eclipse, if you want to say that. Okay. It's in the sign Virgo. This eclipse itself is at 23 degrees. Okay. So what does that mean? That means that if you have any personal planets in 23 degrees around that, it could be 10 more degrees. So it could be 29 degrees. It could be 17 degrees, like a 10 orb, 13 degrees. Okay. If you have it in the sign, any planets. Okay. You're talking about your rising, your sun, your moon, your Venus. Okay. If it's in the sign Virgo, it's going to affect you personally. If you're in the sign Pisces, it's going to affect you personally. Okay. Any planets. If it's in the sign Gemini, it's going to affect you personally. In the sign Sagittarius, it's going to affect you personally. Okay. These are my mutable signs. Okay. That means it's going to be squaring. Squaring means a challenge. Okay. Now, also, who's it going to affect more? Really, the Virgos and Pisces out of that bunch, because it's like right on top of it and it's opposing it. Okay. You see, there's planets over there touching that too. Now, also, if you have an earth sign in some planets in these, then this would be a little bit more positive. Okay. There's trining. This is a smooth transition. So it's almost like, gosh, this person is getting on my nerves. And then God just eclipsed them out your life. Like, you know what? The person calls and said, I'm moving out the country. It's like, wow, that was amazing. That's more what that eclipse will bring you. Okay. So if you are a Capricorn and a Taurus, it'll be more of a blessing. Okay. So that is what we have. This eclipse will likely bring significant emotional revelations or endings in areas tied to work, health, or relationships. Okay. Now, I had that. Who's going to be feeling this eclipse a little bit more? Now, let's talk about the South Node. Okay, now we have the South Node, and that is that little horseshoe that is sticking up. Okay, that is the South Node, and the South Node is in Virgo. And remember, I did a video on this separately if you want to know more about this. Okay, because this really explains a lot of the eclipse that's going to happen. Now, also too, I just want to say, tidbit, this is Blake Lively. She's already feeling this eclipse. Blake Lively is a Virgo. She's already feeling it. Okay, we know the situation she's in. Okay, now, so that's That just shows you how it can affect you before the eclipse has even happened. But it can affect you a little bit after, just around the eclipse. Whenever there's someone who has like a big dramatic release or something gained in their life, and it's like, what is this? That's more the eclipse. If I can't find it directly in their chart, I look at the eclipse to see. Okay. Now, okay. So anytime you have a south node, right? Because this eclipse is conjunct the south node. You're talking about releasing and letting go. You're talking about something that represents your past life experiences, or something that is like an early life conditioning. It's like, I'm not used to this. What is this? You're also talking about karmic cycles. That's what this represents. It's broken. It needs to come, and you're not like releasing it. Okay. The south node is also our comfort zones. It's where we're comfortable. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so great here. Everyone's so beautiful. I'm so used to, hi, hi. Oh, everyone knows me here. And all of a sudden that gets changed. Okay. It's like you are born and raised in one city, and now you have to move to a whole nother country and you feel uncomfortable. That is that south node. The south node is the old city that you used to live in. It's like you feel safe. However, you're stuck. And God's like, no, 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 boo. There's some growth that you need to have. We need to release the stuckness that you're in. Okay. Also, it's something that you're relying too much on, the south node, or it's like you need to detach the control. Okay. The south node often teaches us to detach from control over certain aspects of our life. And that is because you feel safe. You love it here. You're the boss here. Well, no, it's time to move. Also, these are skills and talents that we have mastered already. So south node means like, oh, I am the best artist ever. I can draw a painting what not even looking. Well, okay, now it's time to move on. Succeed, do something else, because you mastered that skill. These are skills you already developed. You already know how to use it. Also, you need to maybe have a balance when using it. Okay, we'll get into that a little bit later. So now we have the south node in Virgo. Okay, so now we know what the south node brings. And every time you have an eclipse or something regarding the south node, it is hard because it's something you don't want to let go. It's something you don't want to release. You're very comfortable there. Okay. Now we have the south node in Virgo, and this is about what you need to release. Okay. Because now we have the sign and it's in Virgo. Virgo is about being perfect. You got to get it right every time. You got to move so slow and get every detail right that you don't even want to release it yet because you want it to be perfect. Well, that's got to go. Okay. Virgo also represents over analyzing. Okay. So, like, you're really stuck. And like I said, every detail, I'm going to micromanage this. All of that has to be released. Okay. Criticism, because that's also dealing with being perfect. Criticism, not just yourself, but also others. Or maybe you do yourself, and maybe it needs to be done with others. That has to be released, okay? Rigid routines. I wake up at 7 a.m., I work out at 8 a.m., I take a nap at 2 p.m. Well, guess. Live life. That's got to be released. Okay. This is also a part of that. Okay. Now, also, when you have these nodal axes, so you have Virgo sitting here, and on a complete opposite, you have Pisces. So the opposite of Virgo is Pisces. That's really called the axis and what it's on, right? So when you have it on the opposite side, there's something that needs to be integrated. Or maybe you need to integrate, well, there needs to be a balance. And you need to integrate this Virgo energy and balance it out with the Pisces energy. So you can integrate paying attention to detail and balancing it with not being so obsessed and not releasing something. Okay. So it's like you try your best and you let it go and let God. Okay. Now, practical skills, it's supported with the south node, but you got to also have a spiritual aspect with it. That's the balance. Service to others. That is very Virgo and Pisces. So let's see how that plays out with this eclipse, because that could be playing out. Okay. Now let's talk about the degrees. Actually, I want to talk about the Decan. Okay. Now the Decan is, and I love this chart, okay, that I use. If you see the moon, you probably, I don't know if you can tell, it's in this decant of the third decan, which is in the third decan of Venus in the sign Virgo. Okay. Venus, so you got the perfect energy, you got the refinement is more just being perfect and making sure all the details are taken care of. And now it's in the sign under Venus energy, and it's more about grace. It's more about balance, elegance, harmony, relationships, aesthetic, and art. Okay. So with this eclipse, you're talking about having precision and grace. You're talking about being meticulous and being like a female energy, or being gorgeous, Blake Lively. Okay. Blake Lively is very Venus energy, right? She's all about her looks and her aesthetics and beauty. I think a lot of people think she's beautiful, so I'm just going to say that. I'm pretty sure she got off life just being gorgeous or being pretty. And also now she has that Virgo element because she is a Virgo sun. Okay. So that also is the element of this Virgo Venus energy. This is why every eclipse is different. Okay. It's also about elegance and beauty and balance, releasing perfect energy and over analyzing it is what you have with the South Node. But now it's also like releasing micromanaging energy with your creativity, because that Venus energy is all about creativity. It's about the arts. It's about aesthetics. It's about relationships. It's about being dependent on someone. So maybe you may be dependent on someone, and this eclipse is going to cut that out. Okay. Also, karmic relationships, emotional detachments, that may be releasing. Okay. It's like, oh, back to Blake Lively, because she's just the pillar of example here. Blake Lively and her husband. That is a relationship. That also shows that she's a Virgo sun and she's in this relationship. Virgo also represents your work, your job. How are you at work? And now here she is at work and she's implementing this husband. That's got to be released. This eclipse is saying, no, honey, boo boo, this is not working. I'm pretty sure she's at home saying, this is not working. It may take a few eclipses to really get it out, but it's a karmic cycle in relationships. Being too perfect in a relationship, making the image of the relationship look perfect, releasing relationships over critical, releasing relationships that are over critical, that are very transactional. Like, I'm in this relationship for the money. I'm in this relationship for the look, for the reputation. Because it makes me look like I have this perfect image, and I don't need emotion attached to this. Okay. Refinement of skills, but letting go of control, perfecting your craft. But this eclipse asks that you are holding on to outdated routines and habits, and they make you feel safe, and you got to let it go. You also got to let go of anything rigid, like rigid systems. This Pisces energy that's on the opposite sign is like, let it flow and let it be creative. Okay. It's about balance and harmony in all relationships, and all, not just relationships, but within your spirit and your soul. Okay. So this eclipse is going to say, let's balance some crap out. It's not harm, it's not balance. Okay. And also too, balancing the Virgo energy with the Pisces energy. And the Pisces energy, which is at the opposite where the sun is, the Pisces energy is all about your spirituality. It's all about being service of others. It's all about being adaptable and mutable, which they're both like that. But it's also about oneness. It's also about being different. Like, wow, this is, I'm not going to be perfect. I'm actually just going to go with what God says. Like, I know they're saying this is the rule, but my intuition is saying this is the rule. That's more of what we have to go towards to. Okay. I'm releasing over scheduling, overworking, all that's got to be released, and nourish your mind and your soul. Oh, don't we love that? Okay. This is also dealing with law, because that Venus aspect, that Decan also be dealing with law, which is also very interesting. That Blake Lively, it's also dealing with law. They're in court. This is about justice. This is about fairness. Okay. Ethical balance, highlighting imbalances in power dynamics. That is happening, whether it's in your personal relationship, whether it's at a work environment or social structure. This eclipse is going to bring that out. Okay. Where is the fairness? Where is it lacking? The eclipse is like, no, we're not doing that. Okay. You're talking about in legal matters. You're talking about in relationships. It's also about releasing overcritical or judgmental energy. And because you have to have justice and compromise. Fairness. Do you understand? Do you see? You have to have integrity, fairness, and ethical clarity. That's what this is going to be. Okay. I talked about relationships and social connections. Like, are you in this relationship because you're coming up? Are you in this relationship? It makes me think of Kamala Harris. She's VP. She's also a Libra sun. This might affect her. Not because she's a Libra. It was something else that I thought of. She had Aries. Okay. Ignore that. Let me just, because I'm like, now I'm mentally reading her chart because I had to read her chart so many times. But okay, but she's a Libra. So she cares about her partnerships more than ever. If you really study her, she cares about her network, her partnerships. She comes off very kind of like more graceful when she's discussing things, more pleasant, and like, I'm very happy where I am and I'm laughing. That is that Venus element, and it's saying to let go of that. Okay, so like, let's say if Kamala was Kamala Harris, let's say she was the energy, not just a person, right? So let's say you are interviewing me and I'm Kamala Harris and I look nice and I'm smiling and I look pleasant and I make a joke and I make everything very lighthearted. That's got to let go, because I'm really trying to do the image of it and make it look perfect when really we need to get deep. When really we got to go so deep, it is beyond. That is that Pisces. It is beyond. It's gonna make you cry. Okay. Yeah. Release codependent patterns, unrealistic expectations, relationships that make you feel like you are more obligated to have the relationship. Criticism outweighs compassion. Being perfect is not the priority. It's about being authentic. Okay. And mutual respect, emotional vulnerability, and grace. Also aesthetics and beauty, all that has to be released. Like if you are someone who is on social media and you're like, I got to get the angle right. My background's got to be right. I can't film because the editing isn't right, or whatever. All that aesthetics, all that's got to be released. Okay. Because the Virgo is like, I want it to be perfect. I want every detail to be done. All that, maybe physical clutter, maybe that's got to be refined, because you do have to have a balance in life. But it have to be more creative. It can't just be very robotic. It can't be just like, oh, the algorithm asks for this. No, it's like, what is my feeling? I feel like actually doing a TikTok on this. That is more of the energy we have to go to. Okay. More beauty found in natural imperfections. Okay. Imperfections. Okay. So let me tell you about the Sabian symbol. Okay. So we do have this eclipse and it's happening at 23 degrees. So in Virgo. So what I'm going to do is look at the degree in 24 degrees in Virgo. We got to round it up because it's not in the perfect degree of 23. If it was a 23 degrees 00, then sure. Okay. So the degree is basically like minutes away of the time away that it is from in the placement of Virgo. Okay. Now the 24 Sabian symbols. Okay. That is this book right here. Okay. That's what this is. Okay. The Sabian symbol for 24 degrees in Virgo. It is Mary and her white lamb. And the key word is alertness. Okay. Now, this is internal spring. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read this to you, and I'm going to explain how this is going to affect the eclipse. If this is what you're feeling already, Blake Lively, or if this is what you're going to be feeling soon. Soon. Listen to what I'm soon. Okay. Now, this is about eternal spring. The symbol speaks to youthful perspective, or seeing the world through the eyes of a child. Okay. This image of Mary in her white lamb symbolizes purity, innocence, trust, receptivity, and openness to experience. It also has a religious undertone. There's a subtle allusion to Jesus and Mother Mary. Okay. Healthy approach to having a healthy approach of having the eyes through the expectations of a child's eyes. Okay. Looking at everything very innocent and being very open. The suggestion here is that adults have to be responsible to protect their own innocence and expectations of innocent expectations, and also the child's innocence. Okay. You have to protect that. For the young child, anything and everything is possible. There are no limitations. Realizing a dream or experiencing the wonder of life. And dream is what you have with that Pisces energy. Pisces is all about the dream. Okay. Pisces is all about looking at things through a rose colored lens. So this is very fitting that this is a Virgo degree. Virgo is the opposite. It's very practical, but it's saying it needs to be out of love. And that is what Pisces. So this eclipse wants you to look at things like a child. Be very innocent. Be very open. Be very pure. Be very honest. Be very trusting. Okay. Let me see. Realizing a dream or experiencing the world, the wonders of the world. On a practical level, this symbol asks to see, for the seeker to keep an open mind and expect the best. Guard against negative or suspicious thinking. Okay, all the haters in the building. No, this is not the time to do that. Okay, try not to protect the problem. At the same time, be responsible and just don't ignore it. Don't avoid it. You can pay attention to it, but to try to have full control over something is insane. Okay, it's just like insane. And that's what this degree is talking about. Okay, so let's see how the eclipse ties out to that, or affects the collective, or affects you, or Blake Lively, because it's already affecting her. Let's see how this eclipse affects with the degree itself, with the in mind of having innocence, in mind of coming to the world like a child, in mind of having collective love, okay, having a religious aspect, being like Jesus and Mother Mary, okay, and respecting, having a responsibility of protecting someone who has a child innocence energy. So like that's like the guy who she's like going against. He's more like the child in it. Like when you read his text messages, when you hear him talking, this is just why this one is just such a great example of the eclipse. So when you see like his text messages, Jason Barat, I don't know the guy's name, but when you read his text messages, he's very childlike, and not in an ignorant or like immature way, but just like, let's be friends. I want to be your friends. Or like, I don't even know how to do this. I feel awkward. It's very childlike. And that has to be more honest and be in that energy instead of being like, I'm suspicious. Are you trying to be my friend? I don't trust you. Okay, that is what that degree. Also, this is just a 23 degrees without looking at the Sabian symbol, just a 23 degrees. You're talking about it's an Aquarius degree. So you're talking about this can happen. Divorces, surprises, high places, high tech, new technology. Aquarius also represents websites, which we can bring it back to Blake Lively. Okay, I just want you to understand a live version because she's living this out in the public and we can see it. I can literally see this eclipse unfolding for her. And this is how it can also unfold for us or the collective. Okay, so Aquarius also represents community, communication. It also represents technology. So what is communication and technology? In high places, a website. Okay, so he put all his evidence on a website, so you do have it in that degree. It's also dealing with friends, networking, and organizations, and there's so many organizations involved in this energy. Now I will talk about how personally this could be affecting you. So the themes overall, okay, you're talking about you need to release being perfect, you need to let go of having control, having the order, having a structure. Wherever things are overdone, you got to release that. Okay, you're talking about past life karma. This could be coming back. I wouldn't say to hunt you, but there is a release that needs to happen here where you are stuck in routines but you feel safe. That's got to be released. Virgo represents work. It represents employees. There could be some releasing of that. There, you could be having problems at work. That would be this eclipse that's happening. And remember, I told you the time period that this is happening earlier in this video, and this video will be saved. Okay, reassessing your health, organization, efficiency, service to others. Okay, if you are a nurse, if you are a healer of some sort, that is what this Virgo energy also represents. You could be saying, I don't want to be a nurse anymore, or I don't want to be a nurse in this organization because the guidelines and the rules are no longer fitting in what I strongly believe in. I do want to be a healer, but not in this regard. That could be happening. Okay, releasing anything that's perfect, letting go of hypercriticism, especially in relationships. Okay, you're embracing trust and flow and spiritual connection and oneness and looking at things in a more romantic way. It's all about love. Okay, now let's talk about the aspects. I'm going to bring this back to the stage. Okay, now this eclipse here, it's opposing Saturn. This eclipse is opposing the Neptune. Okay, it does have a great aspect, but we'll talk about the negative things first. Okay, now when you have I talked about the themes. Now I need to talk about the key aspects. Okay, now when you have them opposing Saturn and Pisces, okay, this eclipse. Saturn is about, this is also going to help you with predictions and see how this is affecting you either currently or how it's going to affect you, okay? Saturn is the planet that brings structure, responsibility, lessons, limitations, challenges. It's about time. It's about corporations. It's about that old man and that old father figure, okay? Now, when you have it in Pisces, you're talking about boundaries that are not, the limitations, but you don't see them. It's like our border. That's very Saturn and Pisces. Or it's a structure within spirituality, or being serious about religion, or having structure limitations with alcohol, because Pisces also represents addictions. Okay, or maybe there's a more seriousness when it comes to your intuition, or maybe there's a challenge or a lesson when it comes to your emotional flow. Now, when you have this opposition means that there's no balance. You can't see eye to eye. It's way over there. It's like, boo, I can't even see you. Okay. And this opposition is like, well, but you need to. There needs to be a balance here. Okay. Now, Saturn is very practical. Virgo, very practical. Pisces is about the dreams. Okay. So you may be pulled between getting things done and escaping into fantasy. Finding a balance between your dreams and reality. Okay, so let me put it in Blake Lively terms, right? Blake Lively might be very serious about her illusion. That's very Pisces. Pisces is a fog, an illusion, okay? And she's very limiting and she's very restrictive on what that illusion looks like. And the Virgo, the perfectness, is not working with the illusion, honey. Okay. So you have that. Now, the eclipse in Virgo with the focus on precision and control clashes with Saturn's lessons. It doesn't want to surrender, Blake Lively. It doesn't want to trust you out there who's listening. And emotional responsibility is what Saturn in Pisces represents. And a Virgo energy is like, I am too rigid for that. Okay. And you need to have some emotional responsibility. You need to step up to the plate and care about the collective and care about your spirituality and care about your love and having the challenges balance out with this rigid routine that you have, or you trying to be critical of yourself versus others. Okay. Now, this tension between practicality, Virgo, and the faith in Pisces is that you could be clinging to routines and details out of fear of uncertainty, because the Pisces is very, I don't know what's going on over there. Okay. You may struggle to balance between control and trust in both personal and professional aspects of your life. Now, but this whole opposition is all about finding a balance. Find a balance between your routine, find a balance between your perfect energy and with limitations of what you look like, or limitations of your spirituality, or the lessons of your spirituality, or the lessons of your addiction. Okay. Addiction could be a lesson here. Now, it's also opposing Neptune in Pisces. Okay. Now, Neptune in Pisces, we've already discussed Pisces with Saturn. Neptune in Pisces is double dosage. It is so strong. Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, meaning that Pisces energy is on steroids. Okay. So Neptune just adds another layer of confusion, because that's what Pisces represents: illusion and spiritual awakening. Okay. Now, if we talk about Blake Lively, which I talked about earlier, again, this goes in that aspect of she's giving an illusion, her and Ryan Reynolds, of what they are, of what she is. This is an illusion. Pisces also represents glamour. It represents a lot of celebrities because they have this mask, and then when they go home, the secrets are all out. They don't have the secrets anymore. Okay. So that does represent that. Now, so you're talking about spiritual awakening. You're talking about confusion, illusions. You're talking about themes that are going to be amplified: escapism, endings, death, secrets, idealism. Okay. This opposition can bring a realization about revelations about where you are delulu when it comes to yourself. Blake Lively, okay, or Ryan Reynolds, they could be delulu about themselves and where they need to surrender and trust the process. Now, the Virgo eclipse also forces us as a collective to stop avoiding reality. Where have you been avoiding reality? Because reality is here and you're over at the opposite end. You're over there criticizing yourself, thinking you're perfect, thinking you have to stick to this routine. And the reality is, it's over here. Okay, so you're talking about your dream versus your true vision, intuition balancing with your inspiration, feeling secure versus longing for vastness, escapism into fantasies and idealism versions of real life and relationships, avoiding practical responsibilities in favor of spiritual or emotional detachment. You could be feeling confused. You could be feeling disorientated. You could be overwhelmed emotionally because Pisces is very sensitive. Okay. And this eclipse is going to demand some clarity and some discernment. Okay, blinded by unrealistic expectations, ignoring the red flags in your relationships, in your career, in your public image, in your glamour, in your aesthetics. Okay, with you not being balanced, you're lying to everyone saying that you're being balanced. Okay, it's about embracing emotional honesty. It's also about embracing the illusions that you have put up to others. Okay, ground yourself in practical steps while maintaining a connection with your intuition, with love, with emotional flow, emotional spirituality. Okay, now one thing I am going to say that's very positive about this eclipse, okay, we do have some positivity, is that it's trining Uranus. Okay, that is positive. Okay, anytime we have a trine, it's like, oh my gosh, God has landed this on my lap. This will help the transition happen. And Uranus is expect the unexpected. Okay, so meanwhile you got Saturn and Neptune, it's opposing, it's creating some tensions. Now the trine in Uranus offers support through some breakthroughs, through intelligence, through social media, through unexpected surprises, okay, and transformation. Okay, unexpected breakthroughs, especially related to finances, what you value, the material world. Okay, Uranus and Taurus encourage innovation and stability, so this eclipse could help you find practical solutions to long-standing problems. Now, in the name of Blake Lively, okay, this makes me think it actually isn't working for Blake. It's actually working for the guy who she is fighting against. I don't know his name, but it's also working for him because he has this website. Everyone's going to this website. Everyone's discussing it. It's all through social media. It's bigger than ever. Okay. But he also has funding because Taurus represents the money. He also has this Wayfair funding that's helping him with this lawsuit. So that's how we tie that into the Blake Lively. But if we tie it into you, it is about stability, resource, and self-worth. Okay, that represents self-worth. Try and suggest that radical changes in your routine, in your work, in your health can lead to liberation and new opportunities. You can be feeling free. Now, if we tie it back to Blake Lively, there's opportunity for her to divorce Ryan Reynolds. Let's just say they need their own freedom. Okay. Also, it's an unexpected shifts that puts you out of your comfort zone, but it's very positive. Okay. Because it doesn't feel as chaotic. It actually feels a little stable. Okay. This aspect supports innovation, sudden clarity in areas where you've been stuck or overly rigid. The lesson here is to be open to new ways of doing things, embrace something that's very out of the box, embrace the sudden changes, honor it. Okay. This is also very social and fast and communicative energy. Connect with your emotions and your intellect for an idea. Your past and your future are working hand in hand. Uranus represents the future, and that moon, where the eclipse is, represents your past. And now there is a trine here that's working for that. So that could be happening. Okay. Now it's about releasing perfection. I said that. Balance, structure, and trust, clear illusions, embrace change. Okay, now let's talk about some predictions. Okay, even though I talked about the themes, let's talk about predictions here. Now, some predictions we have here, because we have Uranus in the sign Taurus, there could be some economic shifts here. You're talking about the stock market, all that, but it's very positive. Unexpected money with that, but it could be making things work out for the best. Okay, and let me see what we have here. It says here, I'm late. Did you go over Libra already? I have not done the horoscopes yet, but I've just talked about the main signs of the eclipse, but the horoscopes are coming up. Okay, but yeah, economic shifts in the market could be happening. Sudden stock market corrections like food, healthcare, technology, all that could be a change, okay, or already is changing, okay. We already see Trump talking about finances. If you didn't know, the inauguration, I broke down his presidency in the next 4 years. I did a video on that, so look that up. But I talk about him, the inauguration having a Taurus rising, so finances are really big, and this could be tied into this eclipse here. Public health, okay. Virgo represents the public health. So there could be a shift in anything dealing with health crisis, misinformation, scandals, pharmaceutical companies, healthcare policies, something dealing with the environment. You are dealing with the earth sign. That Saturn opposition could be like new regulations or restrictions when it comes to health. That could be coming up. Health scandals, exposure of misinformation. Misinformation is that Delulu with that Pisces energy, just so you know, okay? Let me see what else we hear. We have political accountability and people resigning. Remember, releasing power is what the South know. Remember at the beginning, I told you traditionally the eclipse can represent that South node, meaning a death of a king, a death of a leader, but maybe someone's more accountable, okay? Practical political figures or institutions facing accountability for their past actions. That is that Saturn. Saturn is bringing authority. Neptune is like the illusions, the secrets, the deceptions, the scandals, the cover-ups, the abuse of power. They're all being exposed, okay? Manipulation, secrecy, just any type of authoritative control and public backlash, and maybe someone's resigning. Now, I do know, just telling you the latest news, that I do know that Elon Musk, which I broke down his chart the other day, but I'm going to thoroughly break it down soon. But Elon Musk is in charge of Dodge, and he's already investigating sites that are getting paid with money. So like the New York Times, the Democrats, and I'm not a blood or a crip, okay? So don't be coming for me. I'm just telling you the news. Apparently under Biden's rule, under when Biden was president, the Democrats were getting paid. Not the Democrats. New York Times. New York Times was getting paid for yeah, just getting paid. They were on the payroll. They had some money. Political news too was also getting paid. No one who is doing the news should be getting paid by any type of Democrat, Republican, Libertarian. That is a big no-no, okay? So that could be happening. Predictions for celebrities. I've already talked about Blake Lively, but this could be any type of celebrity, especially who's dealing with Virgos or who is in a sign Pisces, or public figures. You're talking about Neptune. Again, it governs fame, glamour, illusions, media. The hidden truths can be exposed, false images, deceptive behavior. Yeah, it's all about releasing that perfect energy and over curating your public image. It's just so Blake Lively, I can't even see it, okay? Fraud for misrepresentation or health-related controversies. So you're talking about influencers who were on, this makes me think of TikTok. When TikTok was ending, all these influencers like, this is the truth. This is what I was really doing. I actually wasn't eating all of that food. I'm actually healthy. Okay. So you have that. That is not just a prediction that is already happening, but it can be happening for us or you. Okay. Public image collapse, inauthentic energy, people who are manipulative. That's all coming up. Now, relationship breakups, because we have that Venus being that co-ruler of the moon of the eclipse. That could be happening as well. This perfect but inauthentic relationship, public breakups or shifts or personal dynamics, high profile celebrity breakups, hidden relationship issues, all that. Okay. New public roles, personal transformations, liberation from the past dynamic. Venus also has that aspect of art. Uranus has the aspect of art and creativity and thinking outside the box. So you have some creative breakthroughs. You also have some bold, unexpected projects. You have maybe some new collaborations because you do have that Venus aspect added there. Releasing perfect energy when it comes to old habits of anything creative or anything depending on a relationship of some sort. Now, personally, before I do the horoscopes, right? Personally, again, releasing control. I don't know how to say, letting go, being perfect. Okay. Areas where you're holding on to rigid control, unhealthy routines, release that energy, work, health, relationships, Co-workers, all that could be a theme. Ending in jobs or routines, simplifying your life, having a healthier work balance, not just with work and like working out, healthy far as the balance of taking care of yourself, loving yourself, and implementing spirituality and love. Okay, emotional clarity, relationship shifts could be happening to us personally. Okay, you can be very clear about a relationship and setting some boundaries. Unrealistic expectations or illusions, all that could be challenged. You're forced to face the truth and forced to let go and release and let God. Necessary changes in relationships could be happening. Okay. Imbalance, over analyzing or criticizing, all that will be changed. Setting healthy boundaries, embracing change with innovation, that could be happening. Maybe you're implementing more AI. I just have to say it. That could be happening. Maybe you are trying something new in your career, in your relationship, or at work, or with a coworker. That could be happening. Unexpected breakthroughs. So it's going to be happening with this. Now, advice that I have for you before I pull some tarot and horoscopes. Let me see. The advice that I have is to let go any of the old habits, darling. Okay. The routines that you are doing, if it's not working for you, let it go. Okay. Because it needs to serve a higher purpose. Release what no longer serves you. It's time to journal. It's time to meditate. It's time to do yoga. It's time to pray. Have you been praying? Well, this is the time to pray. Okay. Be open to spiritual insights. Okay. Reflect on areas of your life that need healing. Release being perfect and focus on self-compassion. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. Pay attention to what the environment is telling you. Pay attention to what your good friends who stem out of love are telling you. What is your family who loves you? The ones who love you, what are they telling you? Okay, listen to the clues and the hints, because if you don't listen to the clues, the hints, the whispers, then it comes as a train wreck. Okay, when it comes as a train wreck, that is when the eclipse is like, well, you didn't listen, cut it out. I promise you that is how it will come. Okay. Now I'm going to pull some tarot for the collective, and then we'll do the horoscopes. And we have the 10 of Wands. Okay. Some of us as a collective, I'll just say the collective has a heavy weight, a heavy burden. But guess what? The journey is ending with this eclipse. All of this heaviness that you are feeling is going to end. The eclipse is literally going to change the burden. We have the moon card here that represents the eclipse. The moon is in Virgo. You have to release the heavy burden of trying to be perfect. You have to release the heavy burden of being critical on yourself, because when you're critical on yourself, you're critical on others. So if I sit here and I invite you to my home and you have a messy home, and you walk in my home and you're like, why is it messy there? Why is it messy? Well, hold up, sis. Okay. You're not coming over my house no more. And it's really because you are really mad that you don't have a happy home space. So you come in and ruin and criticize my happy home space. That's got to be released and let go. The moon also represents the fear in your subconscious. Okay. There is something that's probably deeply rooted going on with you guys, and you're not aware. And I say you guys because I'm talking to you. Okay. The collective is not aware, and it's causing a heavy burden. Every time I pull the 10 of Wands, okay, the 10 of Wands represents the song by Erykah Badu, Bag Lady, you gon' hurt your back, dragging on them bags. That's what that song represents, okay? If you don't know the song, then okay, I can't sing the whole thing. But it represents that you carry such a heavy load that you're not even aware of your baggage, okay? So this baggage could look like, now all my Gucci bag ladies, let it go, let it go, let it. I'm talking about my zip lock ladies, okay? I'm talking about baggage that could be looking like you're eating, you're overweight, okay? Even though Virgo is more about health, but you could be too rigid about your health. You could be like, oh, I don't want to eat, and then you go home and binge eat everything, okay? But stay focused. But the baggage is you could be holding baggage about something and having a perfect image, or maybe you have a secret skeleton in your closet. Okay. Maybe you have a heavy secret. And then now, instead of handling that heavy secret that you have not told the world, or you don't want the world to know, instead of that, you start to eat food. Okay, that is a baggage. That's how that baggage comes out. Okay, if you have a skeleton in your closet, or you're trying to have this perfect image, or you're trying to have the perfect home and you clean every day, you're overworked, you're tired, and then the baggage comes out as unhealthy. It comes out like you're always oversleep, you're never put together, you're always looking a ragged mess because you want the image to be perfect over there when the image is really not perfect when the doors are shut. I hope this makes sense. The baggage comes out even though you can't see it, okay? It comes out. So that's what the 10 of Wands represents for me. Now, the eclipse, because it's the 10, it represents the ending. The 10 is it. It introduces new beginnings. So as you release that baggage, you introduce new beginnings. Now, the moon represents highly emotional energy. So that means that we are going to be emotional during this eclipse, okay? It's going to bring high emotions. Even though we're dealing with the Virgo, there's still emotions because we are attached to something that we don't want to let go. The moon also represents our past. The moon also represents where we feel safe, our foundation, our family, our mother, women, the womb, the breast. It represents all that, and all that could be effective when I am pulling this card. Now, with this card also too, you have the animals on the side, meaning that you could be very like because you're emotional when you should just be calm and release and let go. Okay, there is a path going between two pillars. You have the right to be balanced. You can choose the road of being balanced. You can let go of the fear, because that also represents fear, and just let go and let God. Let go and let God. Okay. So that is what we have for the collective advice. Now we're going to do the horoscopes. Now, when we do the horoscopes, ladies and gentlemen, I will employ you to check your rising sign, especially your moon sign and your sun sign. Now, let's say I don't know that, Danyell. Well, you need to get to know it. You need to get your chart and get to knowing, okay? It is 2025. If you are not adopted, if you are not from a third world country, what are you doing, okay? Now, if you have the resources and you are like, I don't know these things. And okay, when I say resources, if you have enough money to pay someone to find out, you should do it, okay? Because this is talking about, I got to scooch in. This is talking about love of self. Okay. When you have awareness, when I learned astrology and I learned about myself, oh my gosh, it was a game changer. I was like, I have a Mercury in Leo. You mean I'm not a bitch? You telling me I'm not a BI? You're just telling me that I'm very courageous in my tongue. You're telling me that I'm very brave in when I speak. I don't live in fear when it comes to my words, when it comes to my communication. What? I'm not a BI this whole time. Okay, I'm just telling you, it brings awareness to yourself when you learn about your chart. Now, you don't have to learn astrology, you just have to know your basic things of your chart. So then, when someone brings up, when someone says, oh, this person is a Sagittarius moon, and you're a Sagittarius moon, you can perk up and know about it. You're like, oh, okay, I'm a Sagittarius moon. Let me listen to it. Okay. So sorry about that rant. Just gotta do that. Okay, so let's go Aries. Here we go. Aries. This eclipse is happening in your 6th house. The 6th house is about your health, your daily routines, and your work habits. Everything I said earlier, Aries, in this video, follow that guideline. Okay, it's about releasing perfect control of maybe your health, maybe your routine. Something's unexpected is going to happen. It's going to change that. It's going to help you release maybe over scheduling, being a workaholic, your daily routines. Are you too charitable? Maybe that could be a thing. Maybe you have a toxic environment. Okay, it's also having you balance your spirituality, love, your intuition, and trusting the flow. We have the judgment card for you guys. This is a major arcana, and the judgment card is saying there needs to be an awakening. Wake up. Wake up. Okay, that is the Pluto card. The Pluto card is very strong. There's a transformation that's going to happen. You have no control over it, but what is your true calling? Because you're not doing your true calling. All right, that is what I have. Bye. Taurus, this is happening in your fifth house of creativity, romance, and self expression. This could be dealing with your kids. This could be dealing with a quick romance that's here to teach you something, or maybe this quick romance is come and go. Okay. Let go of being perfect in your creative projects and things that make you happy. Doesn't have to be perfect in your love life, doesn't have to be perfect. There could be something unexpected with a romance. Maybe there's a revelation with it, okay? Release unrealistic expectations when it comes to love, when it comes to creative blocks, when it comes to fear of failure. Okay. Embrace being spontaneous, acting like a child, having fun with your children. Maybe you're strict on what your children are supposed to look like. Okay. This is also the house of celebrities. Okay. Reduce all that. Okay. Playful self-expression, have some creative freedom. We have the Princess of Cups. There's a message coming your way. Are you listening to it? This could be coming from a water sign, a young water sign. Also, this is the energy of being curious about spirituality, and you haven't tapped into it. You need to be tapping into it, okay? This is also a curiosity about love. Be open. Don't be so restrictive. All right. I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, Geminis. This is in the fourth house. The eclipse is happening within your home, family, emotional foundation, something of your past. The fourth house is the home and family. Release control over that. Okay. Maybe you have some outdated emotional systems that needs to be released. There could be some karmic shifts with your family, with your ancestry, with your past. Yeah, but there's some unexpected changes at home or in your foundation. Okay. Release family expectations, emotional baggage. If there's an ancestry that you're like, ah, that is so, release that. Okay. Having perfect home, release that. Embrace emotional vulnerability, creating a peaceful sanctuary, trusting your roots. We have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is all about traditions. The Hierophant is also seeking someone who is like a professional, wise person in spirituality. Okay. So, like a pastor. Yeah, but seeking wisdom, higher knowledge. Also, it's conforming. It's also sticking to traditions. Okay. It's a very Taurus energy. Taurus is involved with Uranus. So it makes me think that this unexpected thing could be happening with finances, with your home. It's okay. You got to let it go. Money is very transactional. The energy is up and down. So if it's down now, it'll be up tomorrow. Okay. Just be ready of that. But yeah, but there's some key of knowledge here that could be coming your way. I will see you next time. Bye. Cancers, this is happening in your third house, this eclipse, in the house of communication, siblings, your neighbors, your community, how you learn, your thought patterns. Okay. Yeah, it's your mindset, letting go of negative self-talk. You're over analyzing yourself. You're trying to be perfect in your thinking. Okay. Sudden changes in how you communicate. Maybe you are going to have clarity and truth in how you talk. Okay. Release overthinking, release self-criticism, release unhelpful mental patterns, the negativity that you have about your beginning humble education. Let it go. Who cares if you got your education in Watts or in South Central and you are hanging out with the bougie Beverly Hill crew? Do you, boo? Okay. Be more, you guys are in the same spot. Okay. Doesn't matter how you started. Embrace honest communication, new learning opportunities, and mental clarity. Now, this is also dealing with cars. This is also dealing with day-to-day travel. There could be a sudden change in that as well. We have the Three of Cups. You're going to be celebrated, not like you've done something, but there's support here. People are going to support you and they're going to give you love. It makes me think of Venus kind of energy, and this is the co-ruler of Venus. Okay. So people are supporting you in this love, this self-love energy. All right. This self-talk in your communication. I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, Leos, this is happening in your second house of finances and your self-worth and security. This also is the house of the throat and a voice. Okay. Second house is about your money. It's about releasing financial habits or beliefs of worth, holding on to sacred mindset, like not sacred, like you're scarce, like I don't have enough, lack mindset. Okay. There could be some unexpected financial changes. You don't have to be perfect with your finances. You don't have to go by the rules of, like, I read this book, or my mom says I need to have $50,000 to do this, or I have to have the image of looking like I have self-worth financially. Let go of that. Okay. So let go of the scarcity mindset. Let go of the unhealthy attachment to material things because you're trying to have the image that you shouldn't be having. Let go of financial perfectism. Okay. Embrace abundance. There's an abundance out there in the world. Okay. Trust your value, your personal value, and new ways of how you can earn money and manage money. And also, maybe you need to be more charitable. Okay. We have the Princess of Swords. Okay. This is the energy of a new mindset is starting to happen. Okay. With this new mindset, there could be a message coming your way, and someone has something to tell you, and they want you to process the information, and you need to process the information. This is also the energy of communication, breaking down information, finding out the truth, having clarity. All that is happening, but it's happening in a very slow, methodical way. Okay. It's mixed with earth, air, and earth. So it's someone who is slowly talking and communicating, are planning for the long term in their communications. Okay. When it comes to your finances and your security. I will see you next time. Bye. Virgos, this is happening in your first house. The eclipse, again, is going to affect you because you're up there with Blake Lively. Okay. This is about your identity. This is about your personal growth. This is about your self perception. Are you talking too much negatively about yourself? Okay. This is going to be a transformation personally for yourself. This is not going to affect anyone but you. Might affect your relationships, but really it's about you. Okay. Shedding your old identity, shedding being perfect, outdated ways of presenting yourself. It's got to be released. Redefine who you are. Embrace this imperfect person because that makes you human. Yeah, it's part of growth. Now remember, we have that trine. It's about being some unexpected changes of what you value could be coming your way. Maybe how others see you may occur. Also, remember we have the oppositions to the illusions, to the seriousness about love. Okay. Release self-criticism. Airplane flying by. Release people who are not working for you. That self-image. Release that negative or uptight self-image. Embrace being authentic. The confidence, new personal beginnings. We have the Three of Swords. It's going to be heartbreaks because you're loving yourself. Okay. That is what that represents. You will probably have to let go of a relationship. This is opposing that seventh house, and this is opposing relationships. And when you love yourself, some people don't like it because what? You're being true to yourself? Oh, how unattractive. Let them go. They're losers. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, Libras. Someone asked, did I do Libras yet? And here you go. Okay, let me see. Her name was, I can't see it. Belicious 28. This is for you. Okay, if you're still here, I might do extras. Let me know if you're still here. But Libras, now this is about your subconscious patterns. Okay, this is in your 12th house. This is about rest. This is about endings. This is about healings. This is about things that are unknown. Okay, this is about deaths. Okay, it could literally be a death that you could be experiencing. Doesn't have to be someone physically dying, but something is dying. So it could be the death of your career, the death of, now listen. No, we're not getting negative. I want you to comprehend that a death means an ending, but when there's an ending, there's new beginnings. Okay. So the 12th house represents your subconscious. It represents things that are hidden, some hidden patterns. Okay. Release deep-seated fears, anxieties, release being perfect and operating behind the scenes because you don't want to be in the scenes. That's kind of what that 12th house represents. This is someone who is like, oh, no. I don't want to show myself because I'm not perfect. That kind of energy. Okay. This is deep healing. This is about rest. This is about a spiritual connection. Unexpected insights from dreams and intuitions can definitely be happening, and you've already had it and you're ignoring it. Okay. Because this may guide you through something. So write down your dreams. Okay. But I want you to understand, out of mostly everyone, because this is in your 12th house, to me, this is a very strong one. This in the 8th house, in the 1st house, is very, very strong. Okay. So you're talking about something could be ending, and you're talking about that you could feel insecure, and you're talking about that you could be seeing things very foggy, or addictions, or you decide to use escapism instead of addressing the truth. Now, what you should embrace, okay, instead of self sabotaging, or hiding your fears, or having hidden fears, or overthinking, what you should embrace is rest, mental rest. Okay. Rest with relationships, rest with partying. Stop taking the drugs. Stop trying to escape. Let go of that. This is also the house of releasing and forgiving. You want to forgive. Okay. The house of spiritual growth, meditation, trusting your intuition. But it's all about release. Also, charity. Sometimes when life is hard, okay, if you go and you bring charity to others, it helps you. For example, my aunt was passing of cancer, and my mom's best friend, her husband was cheating on her at the time, right? So she went and helped us with my aunt dying of cancer. And that put her life in perspective, like, wait a minute, my life isn't that bad. I'm still alive. I'm not going through this illness that's just depleting me and depleting my family. I am just going through adultery. Well, she wasn't committing it, the husband was. But you get what I'm saying? It really puts your life into perspective. So this is a house of charity as well. Now, let's see what we have here. We have the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is in reverse. And usually when you have this, there is fogginess. And what is going to happen is that the fogginess will clear up. You won't have the delusions. You won't live in la la land. There's clarity coming your way with this eclipse. You probably already felt it. Okay. That's what we have for you. That's a very positive card. Okay. Enjoy the clarity. Okay. And really try to learn to love yourself. All right. So I'll see you next time. Bye. Scorpios, this is happening in your 11th house. It's all about your friendships and your future and your hopes and dreams. Okay. It's about community and networking, long-term goals. Okay. Your future plans. Now, because of these things, you need to release any toxic friendship. That friend who's like, oh, they're a perfect friend. No, let them go. If there's social obligations because it looks like it's perfect, let it go. If you are part of a sorority because it fits the perfect image, let it go. It doesn't work with you. It's not serving you. It's draining you. If you're part of that, let it go. There's going to be sudden shifts in your social circles. You probably thought you valued them. Well, that's an illusion. Okay. Unexpected opportunities for new connections and group involvement could be happening. Release any superficial friendship. If you're a part of a people pleasing group where no one says anything and everyone's like, yes, everything's perfect, release that. If you have a goal, a long term goal, and you're like, that was really my mom's goal, not my goal, that's an outdated goal. Let it go. Okay. Now, this is what you should embrace: being authentic, having authentic connections, aligned with communities that truly are aligned with you spiritually. Okay. And your visionary goals, the beyond, the vastness. We have the 5 of Cups. Okay, this is going to bring you grief. Okay, you're going to be so sad. I'm not a part of this community anymore. How can I live? Okay, you're looking at the glass half empty. You're not looking at it half full. Okay, you are going to experience a loss. Eclipse brings transition. If you haven't felt it already, it brings a transition, but you got to let it go because there are other cups in this card here. These are 3 cups that are spilled, and you are crying a river over these 3 cups. You are not looking at these 2 full cups behind you. That is what that card is saying. And that is what you have to do. I will see you next time. Bye. Sagittarius, I'm a Sagittarius rising. So this is going to be exciting. This is about our career, our reputation, our public life. Okay. This is all about us on stage. What does everyone see? Okay. Now release the perfect career. I sometimes used to do, well, not sometimes, but I used to really do edited perfect videos. Now look at me, I'm just on live. I'm being authentic, okay? This is about being authentic with your career, your work environment. If your work isn't working for you, let it go, okay? There could be sudden changes in your professional life. Trust the change. Let it go. Leadership roles. How are you seen in public? Being perfect and over criticizing that is not going to serve you, and this eclipse is going to change it. Are you overworking? Are you in a toxic job environment? Are you in an unrealistic career? Like you have unrealistic career expectations? This is about letting go. This is also a be authentic leader, being authentic worker, being authentic about your career and your life goals. Okay. Career growth, public recognition aligns with your true values, who you truly are. What do we have for us? We have the King of Swords. This is amazing. King of Swords is very intelligent. It is the highest intelligence ever. It's also very clear in their communication. It talks about the truth. It's very logical. It's going to bring bravery in words. Okay. It uses discernment when it comes to intelligence. Yeah, major intelligence with the intellect here, major intelligence with your future, major intelligence with any form of communication. And that's what has to happen. And that's will happen when you have this eclipse, if it already hasn't been affecting you. Okay. You're going to be able to work social media. You're going to be able to work a website. You're going to be able to work navigation, because this is air energy, Aquarius, all that is what I think. Also, not just Aquarius, but Gemini, relationships and socializing. This will work for you in your career as well. Libra is also relationships and socializing. And that is what the air represents: grace, refinement, bringing that element to social media or communication or your intellect. Okay. Very positive. And I'm a Sagittarius rising. I'm already feeling it. Let me know if you're feeling it. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye. Capricorns. This is in your ninth house. This is all about your beliefs, your education, and your expansion. Traveling the world, seeing the world outside of the little bitty corner that you live in. Okay. The ninth house is about your beliefs, traveling, releasing rigid belief system, having this perfect thought of like, I gotta go to this great school, this higher learning school, this Harvard is, let that go. Anything that's outdated, as far as your perspectives of like that can limit your growth. This is about releasing that, setting opportunities for travel, learning, and spiritual growth could be happening. So any type of limiting beliefs, let it go. Dogmatic thinking, let it go. Over planning of the future, let it go. Okay. This is about embracing some new philosophies, being open to new cultures, maybe having a spontaneous travel that isn't perfect. Okay. Expanding some learning experiences. This house also represents astrology. This also house represents spirituality and religion, and law. And we have the emperor, and the emperor is about Aries, and it's talking about being impulsive. Okay. And being brave, setting some boundaries at the same time. So you do want to have that childlike energy, that 24 degrees in Sabian. You want to have that because Aries does represent youthful, new beginnings energy. At the same time, be responsible and expect the unexpected. Unexpected surprises could be happening for you. I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, Pisces, let me take a sip of water. Oh wait, no, not Pisces. Sorry, Aquarius. This is in your eighth house. This is a strong house. This is a house of transformation. This eclipse is intimacy, things that are very taboo, money that you owe, if you share any resources, taxes, debt, inheritance. This is also things that are very hidden, secretive, mysterious. Okay. The eighth house is about transformation. It's about psychology. It's about healing. There's some things of intimacy that could be happening, and you need to release control of that. Okay. So if you're being rigid, like this is the money that we're supposed to make together, let it go. If you're trying to be perfect when it comes to things that are very taboo, not showing the taboo things or the secrets, you got to let it go. Okay. This is a house of transformation. So there is going to be a transformation happening for you regardless of what you do. Okay. This is about karmic endings and relationships, maybe in some financial agreements that you have. There could be some unexpected breakthroughs in that department as well. This is a house that you could be having an eclipse, and it could be dealing with fear of intimacy, control issues in relationships, or being dependent on someone financially. Okay. You want to embrace being emotionally vulnerable. being independent financially, that could be a thing, or personal transformation, getting some healing in the psychological department, in the psychology department. We have the King of Cups. Yeah, this is someone who is emotionally intelligent, the highest emotional intelligence. This makes me think that you are going to be doing something with psychology or going to see a therapist. Now, also, you could be dealing with a water sign who's older and wise, and they could be helping you do something that's very transformative. Now, also, too, this is about relationships. So there could be some financial issues there, and you need to be independent and you need to focus on yourself. Now, the king is the master, right? He knows how to be alone and feel safe. He's not lonely. He's just, there's solitude, but there's no loneliness. Okay. So you do have that. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Also, too, they don't have fear of letting go and releasing. Pisces, this is happening in your 7th house of relationships, partners, and balance. Okay. Release any expectations you have on a partner or on your looks and your aesthetic, on your art. Let go of the partnerships that no longer serve you or is not giving you growth. This is a karmic shift in your love life or a partnership with a professional partner of some sort. There's something with a partner, whether it's a loved one, a friendship, or some sort. But there needs to be releasing of that. Okay. Unexpected relationship changes may occur, leading to deeper, more authentic connections. Okay. Now, you could be codependent. You got to let it go. You could have unrealistic expectations in relationships. You got to let it go. Toxic relationship. You got to let it go. Micromanaging a relationship. You could be the one that is the want someone to depend on you. You got to let it go. Okay. This is about embracing balance, compassion when it comes to relationships, and authentic partnership, and being your true authentic self when it comes to your image, your public image. Okay. Your image. We have the 2 of Cups. This is all about relationships and love. You want to find someone you're more aligned with. It's very simple. That is what that card represents. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you guys for watching. I'm so happy you stayed and watched the whole thing. If you did, or if you're a Pisces, thank you for watching. I do know I am going to do the next eclipse, which is March 29th. That video will be coming up very soon. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye bye.